I believe we are live now, or at least on my
I
side.
believe we are live. Yes,
Yes,
that is
wonderful.
that is the rumor I've been told.
And I was actually accidentally piping in part of another call I was on to my um, starting screen a little while ago. So, oops. But anyway,
Classic
hi, who are
JJ,
you?
am I right?
Yeah, exactly. Hi, who are you?
Hi, my name is Paul. I'm a developer advocate at VMware. And who are you?
Hi, my name is JJ Asgar, and I'm a developer advocate for the IBM Cloud. Um, So we every Thursday we get together and kind of do Kubernetes kind of stuff. And um, basically, today we're going to take a moment and roll back to something that we should have probably gone over a long time ago, but we didn't. So um, I'll just send up a little bit of a background. I'm in the process of trying to set up some production level clusters for people, and in the cloudy way, you just kind of throw things up into Kubernetes and let Kubernetes run your stuff. Well, when
Right.
you start thinking about production, you need to start thinking about monitoring.
Yes.
And Paul and I were talking, and it turns out I was doing monitoring completely wrong. That's what it boils down
Well,
to.
you weren't doing it wrong. You were
Reinventing
doing
the
it as
wheel.
if it was 1997.
Thank you very much. 1999. I at least had 1980, 1999, 1997.
Well,
Still
99,
little.
we weren't doing monitoring because we were too busy preparing for the millennium apocalypse when all the
That's a good
times
point.
were going to break because of dates.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Actually, I think 1999 is the first year I spun up my first Nagios server
Oh boy.
because I was 17 in high school, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, cool. So I have a Kubernetes cluster already set up for us. If you want to get into that tmux instance,
I would
um,
love to. If I was
and
more
then
prepared, I would already be there.
yeah, I'll go ahead and share my screen. And as you can see here, friends, possibly, there we go. I don't know why my screen is a little bit weird. Oh, it's because we're not doing side by side. Side by side mode. There we go. Now we can see it. So if you
Now,
look to get
what's your tmux name?
monitoring something, so new window. So in my mind, I was going down the path of something called sensu, because in my mind, I was like, hey, I need to monitor certain processes inside of a pod, right? One of the first requirements I had was to make sure that my application internally in a pod was healthy. Turns out
Yep.
Sensu does a really good job at this because it's all done via localhost. It's a sidecar to your main container. And then it goes all through 127.0.0.1. So you don't need to worry about security or anything like that because it's all living inside your container, which is great. But the challenge is that's my application. I need to know about what my nodes are doing. So Paul, where do I
Yes.
go from here? Like how do I monitor a node or a health of a cluster when it comes to Kubernetes?
Sure. So first of all, on the Sensu thing, running it as a sidecar is definitely an interesting concept. And it's probably going to be pretty useful if you don't have an app that kind of um, fits in that Kubernetes
Oh,
paradigm where you talk about having like a health endpoint in your app so that any monitoring can just do a like a get request at slash like Z health, I think is the kind of Google originated sort of endpoint for that. At which point you get like a list of metrics, at which point whatever you have, as long as it knows what pods are running, it can hit those up and get those details, right? So if you have apps that support that, then you don't really need to have that sidecar methodology. Maybe it's Health Z. I can't remember.
Health Z.
But anyway, and then like you have, so Spring went really deep with that, and they like have like Spring actuators that by default will do it for you. And in fact, they have like a Spring actuator Prometheus, right? And it will, in the exact format that Prometheus wants, it will give you every metric that Spring happens to know about your application, which is quite a lot if you're using the Spring framework. And so a lot of languages have a similar thing. And so it's becoming more and more common to get a fairly easy way to get that health endpoint. Obviously, the best way to tell if your application is healthy or not is to see if it's even live. And you kind of already get that for free with Kubernetes with help with the health checks and liveness checks, readiness probe and liveness probe, right? So liveness probe will kill the pod if it fails. A readiness probe will simply say that it's ready or not. And that ready or not then is translated up to the service. And the service uses that to determine which pods to send traffic to for a particular application. So kind of by default, just with that readiness check and the liveness check, kind of already getting some, what's the word? You're kind of already getting some like health for your workloads.
Yep.
Up, down kind of health. And then you can start working up by adding the metrics. But then obviously you need something to actually collate, and observe those metrics, right? And so that's where you still need something like Grafana. You need some sort of database like InfluxDB if you're kind of going the, or Graphite if you're sort of going that sort of Sensu-ish way. Or there's the Prometheus way as well, which Prometheus itself has a database that is interchangeable with Influx and everything else if you have a preferred database. And Prometheus is super tightly integrated with Kubernetes. And so it will do things like if you have pods that have the health endpoint, it'll just automatically start collecting them. If those pods go away, it will automatically stop collecting them, right? And then you can add annotations to get even more instructive. So say, instead of health Z, it's like /actuator/health. With a annotation, you can set that so that you don't actually need to configure Prometheus that, oh, my app listens on this path. You just simply put that in as part of your like pod, your pod description in annotations. So that lets Prometheus then collect your app metrics. And that's still not getting to your question, which was, what about my node metrics? So what most folks tend to do there is they'll run a daemon set, which is basically tells Kubernetes to run a replica on every single node. Obviously, you can filter nodes using labels and selectors and affinity, anti-affinity and stuff. So it doesn't have to be every single node. But like for things like monitoring, it's going to be every node. And then you do host mounts of say /var, not /var, /proc, etc. and /sys.
So that requires a privileged container though. So,
no, sir.
No.
Because
it's read only?
Well, you would generally do it read only, absolutely. But also a host mount doesn't require privilege.
No.
Right?
I thought it did.
No. I mean, it's certainly a host mount. Often, like you have default pod security policies or admission controllers that block people from being able to access a host mount because you don't want any old app to be able to mount something from your clusters. But what you will often do is a pod security policy like exception for things like your monitoring tools to do read-only mounts of /sys or /proc.
Interesting. Okay.
There may be some question about whether the user in the container will be able to read those things, but usually they can, because like often, like if you run Sensu, you shouldn't be running the Sensu client as root anyway,
That's
right?
true.
So
Yeah.
these things should be accessible by read at least for most processes running on a machine. And so basically that daemon set will be collecting those metrics, and then we'll either be pushing those metrics or we'll be providing a /healthz style endpoint for something to collect from.
Nice. Okay, so where do we start?
Well, so we have two paths we can go down. We could look at the Sensu route, or we could look at the Prometheus route. I really like both, but Prometheus is a lot more batteries included, and I feel is a little bit easier to get up and running because you don't have to have a separate database. You don't have to do anything much else. And there's a really good Prometheus operator that helps as well.
Let's do Prometheus then.
All right. Now, the next question is, do we want to keep working in Ansible and build out a Prometheus role in the Ansible we already have? Or do we want to just figure out how to install Prometheus?
Let's just get it working first so I can have the goal of seeing this actually being created and we can see it come together. And then if we have time, we can go back, take all the commands we've done, create the role for our community in a box role, because we'll already have all the commands we need to build anyway. And then if we still even have even more time, we can start looking at Sensu. Seem reasonable?
Yeah, that sounds very reasonable. All right. Well, in that case, you know, I've driven the last few streams, so I think it's nice that you can have a drive. So do you want to go ahead and bring up, like there should be a website for the Prometheus operator?
Prometheus.io. Get started.
Yeah. All right. So this looks like just running it. So is there I would actually look for like the Prometheus operator as a thing, as opposed to Prometheus itself.
Okay.
Yep. So when you are looking at the Prometheus operator, there's an original Prometheus operator from CoreOS, which is very much out of date now. So a couple of times I've accidentally used their docs and gotten things very, very wrong.
Wait. So you're telling me 5 hours ago was out of date?
No, because you're at the right place.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm making a joke.
This isn't the CoreOS one. All right.
Yeah. It's making a joke, man. Come on.
Well, it didn't land. It's not on me to laugh at your jokes. It's on you to make your jokes funny.
All right, quick start. All right. Provisioning.
Quick start. All right. This quick start does not provide an entire monitoring stack. If that's what you're looking for, see the kube-prometheus project. All right. So already we're being sent in multiple ways, in multiple places.
I mean, this is exactly what we're looking for.
I dropped my headphone. Ah, there it is.
Yeah, so this is actually what we're really truly looking for.
Is exactly what we're looking for. I've used the Prometheus operator helm chart to great effect. But there's no reason we have to do that. We can follow whatever the quick start says if we prefer.
It doesn't actually.
Yeah, well, let's just roll with what they want. But I think the difference is with the Helm chart, it makes it easier to set up your ingress and stuff like that. Whereas here it's telling us to use port forwards. But let's follow their instructions on the first pass, and we can always come back and redo it with Helm, or say, all right, now we've learned this, let's actually dump it into Ansible and move from there.
Okay, so it doesn't actually say, but because we need our manifests here, we need to actually check out their code. It's kind of nice that they don't actually say that you need this code. Git clone this. All right, and then we can delete this. We need to go to manifests. Oops.
Well, you don't want to jump in the manifest directory, because if you look at their commands, they're telling you to use the directory.
Oh, you're right. My bad. Is that worth a PR? Because, I mean, we actually had to think about it for a moment.
I don't know. I feel like it's pretty obvious. It's pointing at a directory. You'll need to have the repo. And like different people might be able to do git clone. Other people might have to do like a wget of the table. And so you'd end up having to do too much. Whereas I think most folks at this point know how to get a git repo cloned.
Oh, I deleted those. Whatever. All right, so we have a monitoring.
I thought you said this was a fresh cluster.
Yeah, no, I thought it was too. Okay,
did you want to wait? Did you do the first one?
Yeah, I did. Yep, NS monitoring. Yes. Q get pods. There we go. We're up and running as a monitor. There we go.
All right.
Do you want to look at those logs? No.
Nah. It's not really going to tell us much. So you did the CRDs. You did the until.
I just did the setup. Yeah, and the until immediately stopped. It just dropped out because I was like, it's already here.
Gotcha.
That's exactly right there. So now I'm going to do the manifests.
Yep.
And manifests right there. There we go. Ooh, jeez.
Yeah, so that's quite a lot of stuff, right? Because it's Prometheus, it's a bunch of cluster roles and bindings, service accounts. It's also Grafana and whatnot. But if you look at in the manifest directory, there should be a Prometheus-Kates.
No.
Maybe it's deployment dash.
Grafana, metrics, Prometheus adapter. That's it.
Well, what have they called it then? Just go to maybe look at the GitHub, and we'll just have a quick look at the directory structure there. Might be a bit easier to follow.
Manifest.
Yeah, or if you had VS Code set up to SSH, we could use that.
Nah. I mean, there's nothing in here apart from what you saw. There's that setup directory.
Oh, wait, stop. There was Prometheus-Prometheus. I bet that's it.
Gates.
Prometheus-Prometheus. Yep, you got it. So if you look at the top, you got the API version is their CRD, and the kind is Prometheus. So basically, the Prometheus operator knows how to install and run Prometheus. And so instead of having to write down all the manifests to run Prometheus, instead you write a simpler manifest. And then you can see under spec, they have a few things like you can still set your image and you can still set things like replicas and resource requests, security context and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a deployment where you have like that pod spec, but this is kind of like yet another step up. Nice. So if you go back to, you can see that we're going to have 2 replicas. So I assume it's going to cluster itself together. So if we do a get pods,
there we go.
So it's obviously a stateful set because you've got the 0 and 1, which makes sense because it's probably got PVCs. Do a get PVC.
Nope.
Oh, okay. So probably by default, it doesn't have PVCs. But if you were running this in production, there would probably be a setting to enable PVCs. Yeah, and I don't think it's creating an ingress or anything by default, because I think their instructions were talking about doing port forwards.
Yeah, shit.
But that's fine. It's easy enough to write an ingress.
Yeah, or I'll just log in from my local laptop and just do the forward from there.
Yeah. Actually, if you go back to their doc, I wonder if they have an option to do ingress.
No,
there you go.
Create it.
Yep, access the dashboards, blah, blah, blah. They're instructing how to route these pods behind an ingress controller in the exposing Prometheus via ingress section.
Just this one?
Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah, and so I think this is why it's not doing it by default, because it's actually telling you how to create a password and set it up with a password, because you generally don't want to expose something to the internet without some kind of authentication.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. We can just port forward into it.
Well, no, why don't we just set up the ingress?
Okay.
Like, it's not going to take us long. So what's it telling us?
HTTP password tool. Okay, so it's an Apache. So there's probably one. New window.
I mean, this is just a demo. We don't need to put the auth on it.
I guess it's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's telling us to use JSON it?
Yep.
Come on. All right, so this is the point where I'm ready to say maybe we should use the Helm chart.
All right, you want to take over, type in some commands? I got to take a bunch of real quick.
Okay. Do you want to hit the button to share remote control in case I need to click around your web browser?
Yeah. There you go. You should be able to get it. Yep.
Nope, I can't.
Like
request remote control. Hang on. You are controlling JJ's screen. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so we will go to everyone's third favorite website, which is artifacthub. Wow, if I can spell.
No. No, that's probably me.
Oh, you Dvorak.
There you go. No, that should work.
This guy. Let me see. Artifacthub.io. It's so weird working with the delay. Prometheus Oh, come on. Don't make me spell hard words with a 1 second key press delay. What kind of monster are you?
All right, I'm about to take it back here in a second. Just gotta wait for me to see that actually fixed.
Oh my goodness.
You know, you can just copy
some
and
of
paste it, right? It's
some of the
literally on the
hotkeys don't work. Like I couldn't do a Control A to. All right, I think I got it.
Oh my goodness. Of course, there's a million versions of this damn thing.
Of course.
All right, hang on.
But I mean,
I gotta take my mouse. Take my mouse real quick. Hang on. Somebody threw some spam in my thing. Go away.
I gave up remote control.
Okay, cool. All right. So where are we going?
All right. I think that Prometheus operator one looks. Oh God. Oh, that's the operator. So click on the left. Click on Helm charts. See under kind.
Okay. Prometheus community.
I think that's the one we want. Yeah.
Official.
Yeah.
That looks better.
Also updated 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and run those 3 commands.
Oh, shouldn't we delete everything we created already?
Yeah, you can probably go ahead and do kubectl delete -f on manifests, and then.
Oh, I was just going to delete the namespace.
But it's also created CRDs.
Oh, good call. Manifest. And probably that's set up also too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Waiting for finalizers. Do. There we go. There goes the CRDs.
All right.
Service counts.
If you didn't want to wait, you could Control Z and background it and just move on.
Yeah.
Oh, there, it's finished anyway. So maybe do a get namespaces and just see if the monitoring namespace is gone.
Yes.
Sweet.
Okay, so I'm going to get out of this directory and then put this right here. There we go. Really? We got to add the, oh, I guess there's probably dependencies, aren't there? Okay. Okay.
All right.
Now, do we actually need to give it the release name using Helm, or?
Yeah, the release name is just what you want to call it. Yes, you can go ahead and do this. You'll also want to specify a namespace. And don't call it V1 because Helm already does versioning. So just call it Prometheus. Yeah. And then give it a namespace, please. Yeah.
The monitor doesn't exist yet.
And then do a space -- create namespace. And I think that tells it to create it for you if it doesn't exist. Uh-oh.
Is N not dash? No.
No, I think maybe you do the options before you do the.
No, okay.
So I think the command was right. You just need to put the -n and create before, like between install and Prometheus.
Like that?
I think so.
Doesn't look angry right now.
Well, that's a good start. Not looking angry certainly helps. It does seem to be taking a minute, though.
It does, doesn't it?
Usually it's pretty quick. While it's running, do you want to just go back to the docs? See what else it's saying to do.
Configuration.
Yeah, so obviously we've done a super default install. So we're going to need to do some things with setting ingress, etc. So I think we probably
Nice.
want the, yeah, don't worry about doing that.
Okay.
We're all on defaults. But if you click on the customizing the chart before installing,
Got to create a values.yaml.
oh, don't tell me this is just generic docs.
It is.
Okay, that's just generic docs. All right. Scroll
Hey,
down.
couldn't we do the show the values here and then put it out to the YAML file and then edit that YAML file?
Yeah, you probably could. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
So me.
Just values.
We're gonna call it prom. Yep. Oh,
Okay.
good call. There we go.
All right. So look for the ingress.
There we go. Enabled. It seems to be
Right.
true.
We want that to be true.
Annotations.
Do we need annotations? All right, so it wants us to set a ingress class name, which I think, as we discovered last week, despite the docs, it's still just ingress. It's still just nginx.
Mm-hmm.
Annotations, labels. We probably need to set a host name somewhere. Yeah, so host must be provided if ingress is enabled. So this is where you'll want your ingress host name.
I really should set up external DNS again on this thing. One of these days, I'll actually do it.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the ingress host name that already exists, which is good enough.
Killing me. There we go. I need to do it inside of this thing, right?
Well, I would just comment out I would delete the square brackets and just do it with a dash like it has below.
That's not the whole thing. I'm gonna fix it, don't worry.
Yeah.
Will it do the alert manager for me, or do I need to add all that stuff in there?
I mean, if it's telling you, if it's put it there, I would say you need to put it there.
Okay. So that's alert manager. Do I need to do Grafana also? And
I would imagine so, yeah. Yeah. Well, hang on. I don't know if it's a list like that or you need to fill in extra details along with Alert Manager.
how do we figure that out?
Well, look at what else is commented out below Alert Manager. Oh, I see. So host, hang on, you're going way too far. Yeah, go back up. Go up a little bit further. Okay.
So this isn't a universal ingress. This is an ingress just for alert manager.
I was going to say, I bet this is part of like an Alert Manager block.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah. So for each of these, you'll probably need to do similar. But hopefully that means that setting that host is all we need to do there. So call that second item. And then maybe copy it because you'll just paste it a few places and change the.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you look for, I guess.
Here's Grafana. Enabled.
Yep. Enabled true.
Annotations of.
We'll see if we need those. The defaults might just work.
Ingress controller class name. Nginx.
I think the default will be okay.
Wait, this is something different. This is Thanos.
Yeah, you've moved on to the next one.
Yeah, what is Thanos?
That's a good question.
No, it's Prometheus still. Wait, what? Oh, they probably called it Thanos, but we can just call it Prometheus. Got it. Oh, Ingress exposes Thanos sidecar outside the cluster. Hey, that's a spelling mistake.
Yeah, that is a spelling mistake. So let's leave that as false. I'm not 100% sure what Thanos is, so that probably means we don't need to expose it. What else might
Ingress, here we go. This is actually Prometheus now.
Gotcha.
There we go. That's what we're looking for. Let's oh, son of a bitch.
See, this is where if you had VS Code hooked up, it would be much easier to do this stuff.
Oh yeah, that's cool. All right.
All right. I think that'll probably do because that gave us Alert Manager and Prometheus.
Yeah, oh, there we go. Hit the
we
button.
also need to look for Grafana.
Already done.
Oh, we did Grafana?
Yep. There we go. It's right here.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I did it right here.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Cool. So now we should be able to rerun this, but change install to update, or is upgrade? I never remember. I think it's upgrade. Yeah. This guy knows what he's doing.
I don't need to create the namespace anymore.
Correct.
But I do need the namespace there.
And the chart name. So I think that's what you want. If not, it'll yell at us. And that's also cool.
Mm-hmm. This was pulled from the Prometheus. We pulled this from here.
Yep. It finished, yay.
Yay.
So now if you do a kget ingress.
Oh. NS monitoring. There we go.
Sweet. So let's hit up Grafana first, because that's the friendly endpoint, right? In theory, at least. Oh, did not do HTTPS?
No, because we needed TLS for that, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I thought your ingress controller just did that by default anyway. But do we still have to pass that secret around?
I think so. We'll get to we'll get there later. Don't worry about
that. Yeah, that's true.
Prom operator. All right. We are in.
Wicked. Now, I don't think we have any dashboards or data sources. So obviously data sources are like where Grafana is getting the information from, and then dashboards is displaying that information. So if you go to the settings.
No,
button,
no, look, there's a bunch of new ones.
Oh, well, before we do that, let's go to the settings icon on the left, because we can't do oh, look, it's already got the Prometheus data source set up. Nice. So in that case, we should be able to go to the dashboards. And go to home, and then just pick, let's like do Kubernetes compute resources nodes. Because nodes was one of the things you were mentioning being interested in, right?
Yes. Oh, wow.
Look at that.
That's pretty useful.
I mean, that's a Helm install with like 6 values we set.
Yeah, Jesus.
And we have like metrics collection for our cluster.
Wow, that's
pretty
actually
sweet, right?
Wow, that is actually really easy.
Right? So now if we go to like, let's look at compute resources and look at like other stuff.
Look another dashboard or just a specific node?
Yeah, another dashboard. Well, you can see you can use the groupings above. So the title of it, Kubernetes/custom resources. So I think you can click on the compute resources, and then do maybe do pods. No, you're going way too far. You're looking at compute resources.
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. Nice.
Yeah. And so now you can see you're looking at namespaces and pods. So if we wanted to look at the monitoring of itself, you could click on monitoring and then see all the different pods and stuff. And now this is all just the metrics that like Kubernetes is getting, like it's getting from the Kubernetes like hosts like /proc, etc. So we haven't had to, like, we're not getting any custom metrics for any of our apps or anything yet. So I guess the next thing, maybe open up a new tab and go to alert manager your domain. So yeah, maybe just copy that. Yeah, that'll do. And if you can spell right, you'll get there.
Oh, spelling. What? Alert manager.
Maybe it was alert dash manager. Oh, I see. You spelled alert manager wrong. And now you need to spell it wrong here.
Completely wrong.
So here is, I haven't used alert manager a lot, but here is where you can basically start setting alerts to say, hey, I want to know when a particular node, like a node is over 80% capacity or something like that.
Where does it go?
Wherever you send it?
Yeah, I guess help.
Yeah, so you kind of have to go through and set it all up, but you can, I think usually you'll send it through either an email or to an API call, so like Twilio or whatever it is that does the text messaging.
Oh, there we go, SMTP there. So go through an SMTP.
Yeah, so we don't need to actually go and set this up right now.
Well,
I
wanted to actually see where it was. That's all I'm doing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then finally we have Prometheus. But we don't need Prometheus because that's just the collector. Everything goes through.
Exactly. And actually in production, you wouldn't set Prometheus up in Ingress, right? Because you don't really have, unless you need to explore the Prometheus API, there's not really any reason to expose it. Because Grafana is doing all the hard work and Alert Manager is doing all the hard work.
Here we go. Here's some actual usage. This is exactly what I needed.
Right?
This chart is exactly what I needed for that project. I'm
Yep.
like, hey y'all, this is what's actually going on your machines. Wow, this is phenomenal. And I can't believe how easy this was.
Right?
Right? Like this is so easy. What's doing this wrong? Let's doing it wrong. Completely
Yeah.
wrong.
And that's the thing. Like, if you had have stuck with the, like, just running the manifest from the operator quick start,
Mm-hmm.
it would have taken you a lot longer to get all the ingressors up. And, you know, especially when it starts telling you to use obscure tools like JSON.
Yeah, I know. Jesus. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. Ugh. I mean,
Yeah, I
we
mean,
had problems with that with Loki, remember? We're trying to get Loki
yeah,
working, and we're like,
that's right.
what the hell is this thing?
Well, that was even worse. That was their fork of KSonnet, which is a deprecated.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
KSonnet is an extension on top of JSonnet. So yeah, fun.
Yeah,
But
I think the
this
statement after
is
that.
this is why everyone, like, this is why Helm is so ubiquitous, because Helm has allowed so many good experiences like what we just had. Like, in less time
Meantime, the dopamine.
time that it took to Google for the Prometheus operator quick start, we had it installed and running.
Yep.
And as you said, mean time to dopamine.
Yep.
So with like Customize and all those other tools, JSonnet, KSonnet, whatever it was that Loki was using, until they give you this experience, no one's going to use them.
Yep.
So, like, what do you want to do now? What are we going to explore?
Yeah. Well,
Because, like, the thing with these tools is getting them installed is one thing, and then making them usefully, like, graph and alert is a whole other, like, box of candy.
So where's this alert manager command line? So you have to install an actual app to talk to it, it seems. I'm assuming it uses your
So I'm
config.
going to guess that the either the operator or the Helm chart are going to do a lot of this for you. So I would do a kubectl get CRDs. Right? So look at those top two CRDs.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So do a kubectl get on that and see if there's any already done. Nope. And just alert managers.
Something.
Oh, alert managers is the thing that's actually setting up the alert manager deployment. Okay. Similar to the Prometheus. Yeah. So now,
I was just curious to see if there's anything in here.
Yeah.
No. Well, do we want to get TLS working? Just as an exercise?
So we could, or we could start working on an Ansible playbook to do this.
Oh, yes. Yes. Well,
yeah,
we don't really need to because the Helm chart does it for us, right? Is there an
right.
Ansible Helm?
So I think there is some Ansible Helm stuff, which would probably be worth looking at. Yeah, why don't you Google that? I just need to actually go check on, I have some, a chuck roast in the smoker. I just need to check on it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. It's right here. Well, that was easy. Gotta love it when it all comes together, huh? So it looks like all we got to do is this.
All right, so what's the answer? Does there exist a
Yeah, check it out. The community journal one has been deprecated. That's
Right.
cool because they basically have the example that we just did as a community Kubernetes Helm module. Like this is in essence exactly what we just did as an
nice.
Ansible playbook.
Now, what do we need to install? I assume there's some extra garbage we need to put in requirements.txt.
Yeah, which is the community Kubernetes line.
Oh, right, but that's Ansible Galaxy. Is there anything extra in requirements.txt we need, like the pip bits for the virtual env?
Oh, I don't think so. I think
Okay.
I think
Well,
this is all you need.
I guess we'll find out.
Yep. Here, you go ahead and share your screen, sir.
Oh no, you're driving.
Okay.
Oh, I've got a question on my stream. Gulloway asks, how can we add custom dashboards to Grafana? So I think the Grafana chart itself, which is embedded in the Prometheus Helm chart, has some options to do custom dashboarding. But I would agree with you. If we're going to use Ansible to do kind of our post-install stuff, then we should probably do that with Ansible. And as you kind of suggest, just use Helm for the deployment. I'm also not a huge fan of like nesting your config as code. So my thoughts would be that short term, maybe using Helm Prometheus, but longer term, it might make sense to do it all in Ansible. Or not. Thinking about it, maybe it's not such a big deal having one call the other. As long as you're not sort of doubling up and like futzing around trying to get values to line up in multiple places, it's probably fine. But yeah, I would say any customization you're doing, if you're going to use Ansible to run the Helm stuff, then you should probably do the customization, like additional customization in Helm.
Something legit broke.
Okay, where?
So, like it's gone.
What's gone?
Grafana.
Okay, so do a kubectl get pods on the namespace.
It's there.
It's there, it's running, it hasn't restarted. Do a get ingress. It's there.
I was actually, I was thinking about rolling, updating the values YAML to take off the ingress for Prometheus,
Yep.
and then just kick another install to see if it comes back.
Well, this is interesting that it's not working. Now I notice that we did set the ingress class on
Alert manager.
Prometheus alert manager, but not the others. But I don't think that's the issue. But does alert manager work?
I was just about to test it.
And remember, you spelled manager wrong.
Did I really? Did I do it again? Man.
No, you spelled it wrong in the helm value. So now you have to spell it wrong everywhere else to match
Yeah.
it.
Okay,
so that works.
Yeah. Huh.
So there's something going on with your.
You change the class for Grafana.
But it shouldn't be that because it was working.
Grafana. Oh, now it's back.
That is weird, sir.
Go back to nodes. Now it's pulling data again. Refresh. Oh, it's coming back now.
And it hasn't lost any data, so we'll just call it weird. All right, why don't you go ahead and disable Prometheus, and then we'll start working on the Ansible role, and I'll be back in a second.
All right, come down to Thanos. I don't need Thanos. Here we go. This guy right here goes to false, false. And then I'm going to put this back like that and comment you out just because I don't want that. Upgrade. Oh, I didn't do the Nginx. That's the beauty of this. I'll just try it again. Okay, here's Grafana. Annotations. This is alert manager. There we go. We just gave it the ingress class name of Nginx. This one. So I'm assuming we're going to need that annotation. Because that annotation just says, no, it's not annotation.
All right, I'm back again.
Okay, so the alert manager you see here says ingress class name is all one big thing called Nginx.
Yeah.
And they have no annotations. This has an annotations, but nothing called ingress class name. We can't just take this and put this over here because that's something specific to the Helm chart, correct?
Yeah, that is correct. But I mean, the good thing is,
We could just
so
do
the one
this.
on the right is Alert Manager. Yeah,
Yes.
so the one on the left, you just want to pull that annotation out. Exactly.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Do we need to put it in the curly braces?
Yes. Well, you need to remove the curly braces. There's no longer an empty object. Perfect.
Got it.
Yeah, so if you save that, and then did you also set ingress to disabled on the other thing?
Yep, I did. And I
Perfect.
deployed it, and then I realized that I was like, oh, I need to get the game, that class name working.
Yeah.
So I'm not just a pretty
Nice.
face, man. I do things. I make computers work.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. You're not bad at computers.
God, it's so cool. I like graphs. The old ops
Yeah.
guy in me is like having a great time. It's like,
Uh-huh.
ha ha ha. Oh, what? Did it again. There you go. Oh, well, I guess I just did a deployment.
That shouldn't matter. Like
Hmm.
you didn't change your pod, so it shouldn't be rolling anything.
Yeah, it broke again.
Yeah. So, but what's happening there is exactly you had some leftover JavaScript and stuff, but you didn't actually have the actual website, which is why it was failing. So do a kget pods again. Yeah, you see, none of your pods are restarting.
Well, this guy did.
Yeah, but that was like right at the start of that was right at the start. I don't think it. Oh, 3 minutes ago. Okay. I don't know. Interesting. Your class is still set to none.
Yep, and this is still jacked up. Oh, here we go. This is not filling me with confidence.
I have not in all my time using this Helm chart. I haven't seen this happen. So like, I don't want to blame the cloud provider that you're running this on, but at the same time, like the services are working, the pods are working.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and let's see if we create the role and use Helm.
Mhm.
If our role will just kind of take over rather than us having to delete and recreate. Because if we point it at the same namespace, give it the same release name, it should just basically take over management of that Helm chart, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't actually know where the code is.
So let me think about where we put it. I think
Ansible
that, yeah, under
KS.
stream. I think under stream, there's the date when we started doing the streams and then Ansible.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah. Now I think in the make file, or maybe in the doc, I said how to create a new role. It's like right at the bottom.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Grafana.
I would call it monitoring.
Like so.
Yep. You need to load up your virtual engine and stuff.
Virtual and activate. Okay. Then roles monitoring. First thing we need to do is check for bars. Okay.
No,
we can do these splits.
we don't use vars.
Oh, we use group vars, don't we?
Well, we use defaults to set our defaults, and then any overrides we do in group vars.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I would do is, first of all, I would go to tasks.
Yep.
Go to main, and I would put in the examples from the Ansible community. So we want that, but we also want the add stable chart repo.
We'd want this one first, don't we?
Well, we just want to get them in there. We can reorder
Yeah.
them and stuff. That's what, like, actually, do you want to take the time to set up VS Code? Because when we're going to be working with multiple files like this, it'll be much easier to.
All right.
Or the other thing is I could drive if you would prefer. But I actually think setting up the VS Code SSH integration is super useful and interesting.
If I remember correctly, it is.
So there's a, on the left, there's a little computer with a world in front of it. And then SSH targets, and there should be a tmux. Oh, so you've done this before.
Stream. This guy. This guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Roles, monitoring, task screen. Make that big. Grab these guys. No, just these guys.
Yep.
Copy. Paste.
Yeah. And so you definitely want to switch the order of them.
Yep. Because we actually add two charts, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah. We want to add the stable, and that we need to add the stable from the new location.
Yep.
And then the other one as well.
That was this guy. So Prometheus add.
Now, what we could do is, like, you think about this, if you were in an enterprise, you would probably want to host these charts yourself, right? First get them from the internet. So therefore, you might actually put them into variables and then loop through them.
Yeah, good point.
So let's go to our default main.
Oops. Where the hell is it?
Yeah, it's right there, under monitoring in the current directory.
There we go.
Yeah. So you want to give this a monitoring : and then helm repositories, so helm _ repositories, or repos if we don't want to type as much. And then, yeah, so give it a name and then URL. Looks right, yes.
Wait, name then?
Well, because you've got to give it a name and the URL.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, right? Yeah.
No, you want it to be a list, but you want it to be a list with keys. So you want it to dash and then name : and the name, which is, was it Prometheus?
Yeah, community.
But you can call it whatever you want. So it might be easier to call it Prometheus.
Okay.
And then URL and whatever the URL is. And then do a second one in the list. And basically do the same thing again for stable. think that was charts.helm.sh/stable.
Yep. Oh. That's not what I wanted. Name. Oh, whoopsie. My bad. What? Why are you
What are you doing?
My computer's just angry at me.
Oh, yeah, it's the computer's fault. We'll blame the computer.
Of course we will.
It wasn't the computer.
There we go. Okay. So now we go back to here and we can say,
so you can do with items. So
here.
at the after the repo URL, no, don't delete anything. Don't get crazy. Just right there. Go back. So the with items needs to be under the C for community. Then do colon and then open quote, double curly brace. And you want it on the same line.
Wait, it's the other way around.
Yeah,
Okay.
quotes then braces. And you want it to be monitoring dot helm repositories.
Like that?
Yep. And then for name, you want it to be quote double brace item dot name. And then for repo URL, you know what to do.
Like that?
Yep. So you can now kill that second one. And then I would comment out the next task. And we'll just make sure that from repository task works. Control / yeah. So go ahead and let's go ahead and let me think. So go to site.yaml.
How do I bring up, like, site?
Yeah. Or you can just use the left-hand side. I find often with Ansible stuff, it's easy to use the left-hand side because every other file is called main.yaml.
Oh,
so it's
yeah.
hard to.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So you can just basically everything
Copy.
here you can comment out.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. And then just basically do a name role / monitoring, etc.
Yep.
So you don't have to do that. Just select the vertical because control / will work on any selection.
Oh, no, it's command for me because I'm on a Mac. My command is like away from everything.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's a little annoying. There you go.
Cool. So we should now be able to run Ansible playbook. But before we do, in the README, I think there's something we need to export. No, we set it in vars, so I think we're fine. remember we had to do that Python, Ansible Python.
Oh,
binary,
yeah.
But I think we
Yep.
did that in vars, so I think you're good. So we should be able to, in your command prompt, run Ansible-playbook. Site.yaml. Oh, do we need to update the environment for your new cluster?
Good question.
So you'll need your context name. Right at the top is environment. Oh, you're too quick for me. CTX.
Thank you. Oh, no.
Oh, kube CTX. You don't have your alias set.
There we go. Right?
Yep.
And then environment, IBM Cloud, hosts, group vars, all this one. Like that?
Yeah. And then just for remembrance, you might want to set that FQDN to match the ingress URL.
Oh, yeah.
Just do a kget ingress, probably the easiest way to find it. Yeah.
This whole thing?
Yep. Right.
What are we
So
forgetting?
now I think you can run it.
Okay. You don't want tags of harbor.
Yeah, get rid of the tags.
You want just completely?
Yeah, just get rid of them completely because we have everything else commented out anyway. Right. So one of them changed because we did add it the first time as Prometheus community. The second time we just shortened it.
Yep.
So that's good. That's progress. That means
Yes.
we're barking in the right direction. So now let's have a look at the Helm install. So you've got your values file.
Mhm.
We should stick that in. Well, hang on. Let's not do that yet. Let's have a look at the task. So go back to the. It's the first tab in your. Yeah. So obviously we're going to change the name to Prometheus.
Yes. And then this chart reference is
Will
this
be
guy.
Prometheus/Prometheus. Oh yeah, Prometheus stack. Yeah, you got it.
But we actually need to change it to Prometheus because we didn't
Right.
use community, right?
Yep.
And in the monitoring namespace. I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
Now, why did we
Now the
not
other
need
thing.
to do the
Oh, go ahead.
so the community Helm Kubernetes repository? We didn't actually have to do an Ansible Galaxy install with that. It did it for us, right?
Oh yeah. Maybe we had just all the other stuff we'd installed had just brought it along with it.
So where do we declare that?
The only thing we've done is the requirements.txt.
Okay. All right.
So I think our next step is now back in
Right.
that tasks.
Mhm.
So we don't have to do it now, but we should probably create the namespace as a separate task and not rely on Helm to do it. But that's not a big deal. We don't have to do that right now. But what we should do is figure out how we're going to handle the values. So why don't you flip back to the docs and have a look what its options are for passing values in? Because I feel like the two options that might be useful is create a values template. The other option would be to just like grab the values as a big block from the variables.
That's your values file right here. Values file.
Uh-huh. Gotcha. So let's grab that. And since it has that, we'll roll with it.
Now we want to create a template with this, don't we?
Exactly. So we want to create a template. We'll render that template and then we'll apply. And then we'll point this values at that template.
Okay, so actually, hold on. So we want to create up here, name, create template for values.
So if you actually want to look in the common role, we can steal most of the jobs from there. Go to tasks, go to main.
Here we go.
Yeah. Hang on.
Oh.
So you actually want, I would actually grab everything apart from the last task.
Like this?
To the ensure staging directory exists. So go down a little bit further. Yep, from there. So grab that. Right. So now we need to say, okay, we've got that Kate supply staging directory. So we need to actually turn that into monitoring.staging directory. And then we need to set that in our values. No, not in the name. Don't worry about the name. It's in the file path. Stop. No, you're doing it wrong. Just undo what you just did. All right, so it's the Kate's _ apply. That's the bit you want to change with monitoring.
Oh.
So actually just do a search and replace for Kate's _ apply and change it to monitoring.
I'm with you now.
Yeah.
Because
we're basically uncommoning this.
Yep.
But this is maybe something that if we do a few Helm charts, we'll want to have like a common like Helm apply and do similar logic to we have in the common Kate's apply. But we don't need to do that level of abstraction yet. So be careful because you're doing that across the entire
monitoring tasks. It's the only one.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. If you did a Control H inside just the document you were editing, you'd do it just for that document. Or Command H for you.
Yeah. Did not know that.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Right, so now go back to your defaults because we need to set that. And actually, if you go to like Harbor defaults and grab it from there, because the path will be mostly the same. Oh, interesting. I lie. So we're not actually setting it there. We're actually just setting it in the Kate supply. So we're not doing it per thing. So go to common Kate supply and we must be setting it in that. Yeah. So just grab the staging directory.
Like that? No. We want to get rid of this one.
Exactly.
This is monitoring.
Yeah.
Like that. Right?
Exactly.
Sure.
But I would actually maybe go a step further and do ./temp/monitoring, because now we've made this a role specific. And you can get rid of that wait false.
Okay.
Right. And so back to your tasks.
So now we can get our values.yaml into .j2 and start playing around in there, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So if we take that, if we just copy that existing values.yaml into that directory and give it the .j2 extension.
To roles, monitoring template to values.yaml.j2. Okay.
Yep. Now.
Wait, why isn't it there?
I don't know. Oh, do a refresh. I don't think you've got enough inodes on your machine for it to refresh by default.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. But we don't need to
Right.
change anything in there yet. Right?
Yeah.
So if you go back to your tasks.
Tasks.
Now we've got that ensure role namespace exists. So let's go ahead and fix that task up. And so we'll just call it ensure monitoring namespace exists. No, namespace first. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. And take out namespace to put in monitor.
So we'll want to call this one monitoring.namespace and get rid of the default.
Okay.
Yep. And then just get rid of the role in the name. Yep. And then go back up to defaults and set monitoring.namespace.
Oh wait, inside
Yeah,
of the
no, you're monitoring
role.
defaults, not there.
Yep. You got?
Yep. Now back to the main.yaml. Let's have a look at the next task. So again, change the role to be monitoring. With items. So with items, we can go ahead and actually just create a real list here. And that real list will be just a one item of values.yaml.j2. Wait, stop. What are you doing? No. It's the with items that you're changing.
Oh.
Because we may end up with more than one template. Yeah, and values.yaml.j2. I don't think you need to do template /. I think it's smart enough to look that up.
Okay.
Yep.
And then this comes down
and then the values path will be monitoring staging directory / values.yaml. Yeah, exactly. That entire section. Good point.
Oh, come on, really? There we go. Good.
All right. Now I think let's clean up the name for this task because it's so long.
Yeah, we might as well get rid of this too now because we do it up there, right?
Yes, good point. And then hang on, the release namespace we want to set to monitoring.namespace.
Oh, good call. In curly braces, right?
Yeah, in curly braces, in quotes.
Okay.
Yep. And then just call that like deploy monitoring. Let's not
There you go.
worry too much.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
But like whatever it is, like don't worry about changing it too much. You just don't want to be so long.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I think this will get us to where
we are
we currently
right
are.
now. Yep.
Right. So we should be able to run that Ansible playbook.
All right. FYI, I've had this running in another screen and it doesn't look like it's breaking.
Cool.
Let's break it now. Oh, something broke.
Wow. It's too good to be true. So many logs.
Well, it's just output at the volumes I am, right?
Yeah. But why is the question? Have we run out of buffer?
Dang. Okay.
What were we doing? We were like redirecting it to, yeah.
Out.text. End of print statement, string. Expected token. What the hell does that mean?
All right. Go into the values.yaml.j2 and see if there's a like double open quote. Windows F, or sorry, Mac F, curly. No, sorry, you want open curly. Yeah, so that's, I think, the problem. Oh, you lost it. Double open curly. That's a single. We want double. Yeah, okay. So I think it's seeing those. And it's
so we need to
out.
delete this. Yeah, we need to delete all this.
Yeah, so, and they're just comments, so we can, as you said, delete them. Right, and just do another search.
This one. This one. That one really probably pissed it off. This one. This one. There we go. It's all gone.
Yeah, all right, cool. So now just rerun it.
Oh.
An option with undefined variable. Unable to look up name, monitoring.staging directory.
Make sure your variable does not have dashes.
Did we not put it in quotes maybe? Because we used that same variable above and it was fine.
Yeah.
values file.
Is it because there's a list here?
No, I mean, that's what it wanted, a list.
Hmm.
Oh, because there's no item there.
Hmm.
Huh.
Okay.
So you
we
want to
can
grab the with items from above and put it in. Actually, let's turn this into a block and use the items across the whole block. Hang on. Can we do it with items in a block? I don't think we can. So yeah, just copy that into the next line.
bring it over, right? Under community.
Yeah.
Like that.
Like that. Perfect. That should take care of it. What? Whoa. Values files.
Oh, so it doesn't like, yeah, items.
No, that doesn't exist. So obviously we have a different version of that module than the doc is for. So go back to the doc. And then scroll up. Does it tell us what version of that helm module? Version 011. Maybe what we want to do is, I think what we've ended up with is because we're installing the Kubernetes, and I bet you that has these in it, and that's why this is working. So if you go back to your requirements.txt, where are we asking for? Are we asking for Kubernetes or just OpenShift? Okay.
We use a K8s module.
Yeah, but I think that's being vended into the OpenShift. I think. So we could pop back into the doc. 011.1, that's 011.0. Interesting. Now, if we do that Ansible Galaxy Collection install, that'll probably update other stuff as well. Scroll down and look at the release. There was like a release values field. See if that's in these docs and see what its options are.
Release name.
Values to pass to chart. So we definitely want a list of files. Yeah, so we're going to have to figure out how to get, you could just try running that Ansible Galaxy command that was right at the top. Let's do that. See what happens.
It's already installed.
Okay. Is there like a -u or an upgrade or something? So it's installed. So maybe there's a install -u. No. Ansible Galaxy Collection install -h. Yeah, because you want to get the help inside the collection install.
Huh.
And now do collection install -h. Right. So -f, if there isn't an upgrade, maybe we just have to force.
That's really weird.
Do a -f. You would think they would have an option to upgrade. Was there an option to specify a version?
No, that was not.
Wow, that seems a bit strange.
That is not.
Not ideal, sir, but oh, look, it's a different version of what they've documented. So this is 1.1.1. And what was the document we're looking at?
New in the version. So it was released in 011, it seems.
Right. Well, anyway, let's rerun it now and see what happens. And we might need to end it real soon because
we do actually
have something to do at 4.
Yep. And I do need a bio before that happens.
Exactly. But I want this to work before we leave. Oh, it's taking longer, so this might be a good sign.
Yep. Just thinking about it.
Yeah. So this is another thing I've noticed with Ansible is sometimes it doesn't show the task it's running until it's done.
Done. Yep.
Like I think it's actually running that Helm install right now, but it's not showing anything.
Which is a little weird.
Yeah. Now there's a couple of modules.
There you go.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Run it one more time.
Version 5. Yep, that worked.
I'm just curious if it'll show it as changed to get changed or if it'll show it as green. Yeah. So now we can start doing stuff like in the role, we could set ingress enabled true. And if that's enabled, then we can autofill the values in the values file to turn ingress to true, turn ingress type to nginx, to turn the URL into whatever dot nofqdn.
It looks like it pushed it out again.
Okay.
Yep, it did a completely new deployment.
Well, it hasn't done a deployment, it's done an upgrade, but obviously it thinks something has changed.
Yep.
So we should probably also do a super verbose deploy and have a look at why. But I think that's for the next installment.
I agree.
Because I feel like we've had some pretty good success. And I also feel like it's about time we should start actually pushing this up to GitHub.
I agree.
Which I already have the repo. So I think I probably just need to either give you, I should give you write access to it. And then we'll give it a better name.
Seems reasonable. Okay.
Cool.
Stop sharing. All right. Well, thanks for everyone who stuck around and or watching this. Sorry, Pops Ado. We were just ending this. We got a Helm chart working with Ansible and pushing to Prometheus and some actual monitoring. So come around next week when we'll be doing this again, and we'll keep working on it. Want to say anything else?
Yeah, quick shout out to Galloway from Twitch chat for sticking it out with us. He actually just asked, he said that he sees that there's more and more people using Visual Studio Code and not things like IntelliJ. Does Code have better plugins or something? I think the answer there is it probably depends like where you're coming from. So I think IntelliJ, you're going to see a lot more from people that have sort of come from the Java community, whereas people in the Go community have had sort of the chance to like take a fresh choice over what IDE they're using. And Visual Studio Code just seems to be the default one that people are using. But as far as the plugins go, if I remember correctly, most of the IDEs now have like a common plugin methodology. So if you have a plugin for code, it should more or less work for IntelliJ and vice versa. And especially for like syntax highlighting and auto completion and stuff like that, I think that's become pretty universal. So it's basically whatever editor like user experience you're used to or you want. And like I did not come from Java, and JJ didn't come from Java, so that's probably the main reason we're not using IntelliJ.
I want to use Vim, but you keep telling me to use VS Code. I'm just saying.
Well, I feel like VS Code is a little bit nicer for people watching.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's a little bit less, escape roomy.
Yeah. Well, I do have all my Vim bindings inside of it. Like I have Vim inside of VS Code. So,
Right.
I'm still.
And clearly this isn't the first time you've used VS Code despite your protestations, because I saw there was a lot of hosts under your SSH config. All right. Well, cool. Thanks a lot for sticking it out with us. And we'll see everyone at some point real soon. And if you didn't know, JJ and I actually are on a podcast.
Yes.
It is called Drunk and Retired for legacy reasons, and we're actually looking at changing its name pretty soon. But feel free to look us up and follow us on our podcast. And that's actually what we're stopping this so that we can record our podcast, because we just love speaking to each other that much.
It's true. I spend literally hours a day sometimes with this man. It's quite bonkers when you think about it. So, all right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.